In May, the topic of we are in a simulation came up again, so we decided to dig into that a bit. And this is a bit like the Russian dolls. We are the one doll, but we created all the dolls inside with programs external and internal. In fact, all are internal because we allowed them to take hold on us. Clowns and their systems, programs and projects can do what they like, but we have forgotten we have our own sovereignty to uphold. Do we accept their programs? Did you evaluate it and come to a balanced choice to then make? No, we just rolled over and accepted it on many levels. We became complacent and accepting that others will look after us. Again, that's not being sovereign. Kim can declare the whole world sovereign overnight, but it won't change a damn thing. Why? Because the people haven't changed is the simple answer. Sovereignty with no understanding or comprehension of what it means is another lazy-assed saviour program. Society is always creating labels to define themselves when your very presence is defining, not some bloody title or label. And if people believe they're in a simulation, then in essence they are. Because as creators, we create. If you create it, it manifests as your reality. I don't believe it, and so it's not part of my reality, and subsequently I'm not in a simulation. We had a situation a long time in the past where all of humanity were put in pods, sleeping pods. Some still believe many are still in them. Now, I have seen the pods. I got in one and stepped out of it to experience what it's all about. I made the choice not to partake in that amnesic state. It's like the lie. If you repeat it often enough, it becomes the truth for many. So you manifested the illusion that the lie is the truth. But you can also manifest the truth from the lies, can you not? We have all had a family member or a friend that always focuses on themselves being sick. And what happens next? They're always sick. Are they just unlucky, or have they manifested their own sickness to play the victim game? Other people state, I have no luck, and so they get none. And these are just examples of how we all manifest our own reality, and yet don't sit down with ourselves and analyse what we're actually thinking or saying. And it is a big problem that humanity faces going forward. All that energy creating boxes, lies, illness and bad luck for ourselves can be switched into being ourselves, truth, health and luck with a simple change of our own thought processes and mindset. As for the simulation, it is your choice to believe you are in one. I choose not to be, which is why I travel far. If I was in a simulation, that wouldn't take place. Now, there is a situation which I've explained before of an illusion of minor holographic nature of things here. A copy of this is in the THI Facebook files. And how it was done with frequencies, you can do this yourself. Draw a normal wave line on a piece of paper starting from the bottom left and curving up. Then you draw a second wave line starting level with the top of your waves and curve it from the left down and draw the normal wave. And if you've drawn it right, it intersects in the middle of each up and down wave curve. The first wave is the organic wave. The second one is inorganic and an overlay. Now, what happens if you frequently overlay a picture? It becomes holographic in nature. Now, if you've drawn the wave correctly, you now turn your paper 90 degrees and what you will see is a series of figure eights. That is the Mobius loop we've been trapped in for 6 periods of 13,000 years. The middle of the 8 figure is our escape. It has the east and west gate, which I explained in a show in February of 2018. You may remember it by this piece. Well, then we did another piece in still in May, I think, of to find out where we're all at in terms of the self, our surroundings, and the collective. Have people done their shadow and inner work? Many will say yes, many will lie, not only to others, but to themselves also. And I asked the question, do people really not step back and look at themselves and realise how lying to ourselves is beyond pointless, and it's also a bit stupid, and yet we do it all the time. That includes me. I'm no different to anybody else. The question along the journey of self-discovery is, what is the underlying issue to it? You find that and you are on your way to correcting it. The key to it all is self-healing. What? Self-healing, Thomas? You mean to say we don't need healing machines, pills, psychologists, or some new age multi-titled made-up label person to fix me? No, you don't, and that is the key. It all starts with you. Do you want to heal and fix you, or are you content hiding behind the mask and living the illusion? Except those masks just don't work like they used to. That became even more obvious as the year went on. The masks were falling rapidly as the truth waves washed over the planet in a tidal wave that just keeps rolling. Will it stop? Not this time. We demanded the truth, and the truth is what we'll get in all, at times, its brutal glory. Now, THI members were given a heads up on this in May and June, and Cosmic Voice at the time, of 2015 with regards to shadow and inner work, and late 2016 through 17 with the masks of illusion beginning to fall. 2017 was also the cut-off point for those who didn't choose to awaken to the new world and the new reality. And many people beat themselves up over this, but it's not our fault that they are not ready. It was their choice to ignore and accept a brutal, cruel, criminal-led, fraud-laden and heinous crimes world, not ours. They chose to ignore it. As always, when something profound or way outside of the box of what is considered normal Many choose to ignore it and then rush when another date looms. Not this time. We all received many calls to step up or stand up, and for the vast majority of people, they ignored it. And some will make excuses. Well, I didn't have a landline, or my mobile reception is not good in this area. Except it was not that type of call. This was the inner call. And it rang out loud and clear. Some rose to it, many didn't. A case of most have ears, but not all listen. Now, thankfully, a number did listen and began the work they were tasked to do, mostly quietly, many in the background, some up front, and some on the front line and active. Some have awoken, but there are many still unsure of their role or task. And yet certain people ask, why are they in that role and not them? Because you didn't hear the call. Or you did and wasn't sure of what to do. You never defined your own sovereignty or tasks ahead. But that's okay. So don't be too hard on yourself. The key thing is some did hear and act on the call. If not, I suspect none of us would be here now. The problem in life is bundled into a number of things that are all co-related. Apathy, limitation, victim-saviour program, non-sovereignty and no personal responsibility. Now we can reel off a range of excuses or reasonable reasons as to why those problems pervade throughout society, but ultimately the buck stops with you. There is no government executive order stating you have to be all or some of the above, unless that was sneaked into the Paris Climate Agreement as well. But there is no bill stating we should not care for each other either. And a majority of society caring or actually giving a shit will solve most of the world's problems overnight. The bigger picture problem on this planet is the lies told to all, but the lies stuck as people forgot to think critically or future think, and learned only to delve into the past and react to the now, but the past, present and future are all one and the same. 3 planes of existence with one wave undulating through all 3 layers. So technically you can be in all 3 at any given time. And I asked people not to ask me to explain that more, but to think on it themselves. That's where you get your real understanding. I had done a piece about the 3 awakenings, which was in last night's show, I think, but there's another 6 or 7 that follow that get you into full alignment of not only who and what you are, but also what you can become. Life is all about our emotional and mental states. One or the other being off will set the whole of you off and unable to gain the next level of development. Emotional states is all about reaction, and subsequently how we deal with those reactions. Anger, rage, envy, insecurity, oversensitivity, projection, upset, melancholy, anxiety, frustration are all emotional reactions we perceive are external of us. But the key is recognizing it is actually an internal aspect of us. Someone makes you angry and you rage back at them is often a common trait to undertake, and it feels better, some say, when they've done it. And whilst that may be the case in some minor cases where you've allowed yourself to hold it all in and harbour that frustration and then just let it all blab out. Most of the time, anger and rage is because you haven't mastered your own emotional state. This is where the 45-55 comes into view again. Being 45% calm and 55% angry is a manageable range, as it doesn't take much to recalibrate. All out ranting, face going red, frothing out of the side of the mouth increases your blood pressure, your heart rate, and sends the body spiraling out of control and sync. No one ever won an argument by ranting in people's face. It's a loss of control, and you will get picked off by someone in control of themselves. If you did win anything by ranting, you have only achieved that by brute force, threatening and bullying behaviour. That is not winning an argument. That is losing self-control and mastery, and also a loss of respect. In overview, you won nothing, but lost much.